Um, Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. Greg here. I'm here with my buddy Stephen Nebel
How's it
from
going,
Tampa.
everyone?
What's up? How you doing, man?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So I figured today we'd hop on here. I know you're a newer investor, and
Yeah.
have a conversation right now. A lot of the times we'll talk on the phone or something. So I figured we'd hop on here today and we'd have a conversation on kind of, some struggles, some
hmm
stuff to help with, and maybe some little tips you have so far as a new investor, kind of getting in the game. And I can give you some advice on some things you can do that could increase the chances of you getting more deals. So,
Sounds good.
um,
Sounds good. Let's do it.
cool, cool. So we'll keep it around 20, 25 minutes here, and I'll just basically we'll have this conversation like we normally have, but I'll hit record so everyone can hear it.
All right.
So
Let's do it.
no strings attached. So Steve, kind of give me a little quick kind of overview on where you're at in terms of what are you doing for marketing, what are your goals, and we'll start there.
All right. Sounds good. So pretty much what I do for marketing is I have an on-carrot site, obviously, which you recommended. I actually just got my first lead off of it. It's just not a deal
Oh,
though.
congrats,
It's
dude.
yeah, it's a retail, so it's just a nice house. There's no problems so there's no deal there, but I mean at least traffic's starting to come in and stuff like
Dude.
that. Another thing I do is obviously the tax list and stuff like that, cold calling. It's pretty much what I've been doing for marketing. Obviously, I wholesale. I try to wholesale in Tampa Bay area and stuff like that in South Florida. Super saturated market. Definitely a lot of competitors, which I've noticed, and I pretty much haven't closed the deal. We had that one that locked up, but kind of fell through. I got this other
Yeah.
lady that I'm talking to right now. Hopefully, I can lock this one up. Definitely super super competitive out here, and that's where I'm at right now and stuff like that. Hopefully
Yeah.
get bandit signs. So that's where I think I want to do is get some bandit signs because I want people to come to me instead of me going to them and them telling me to go screw myself and stuff like that. It's pretty much where I'm at.
Wait, that
So
happens? I didn't know
yeah. So I'm tired of getting chewed out over the phone, and I'd rather
that.
them just come to me and then be able to move forward and maybe pretty much just be able to assess if it's a deal or not from there.
Yeah.
So
So,
that's where I'm
so
at.
you, okay, so you want to kind of unpack that there. So you'd rather kind of get inbound leads instead of outbound leads. Is that
Exactly.
hearing
Exactly.
you correctly?
Because I mean, it's kind of a buzzkill getting, calling these people all day. And then, I get one or two maybe here and there that like kind of kick the rock around with me. And
Yeah.
then they're like,
Yeah.
all right, you not a deal, dude. So, because Tampa's so saturated, I feel like a lot of these people that are getting deals, they do a lot of like they have websites and stuff like that. They have like a VA, which I'm not paying for a VA right now or stuff like that. So, I'm a small fish in a big ocean right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, even though your market's competitive, that's a good thing and a bad thing because it's a good thing because when you have a deal, it's going to be very easy to sell it.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that is good. The bad thing is that there's just going to be more competition. So you're going to have to be able to try to find a way to stand out amongst others, which there's totally, there's enough deals to definitely go around. So Steve, let's kind of unpack here. We'll start with the Carrot site. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Carrot. Been using them for years. I'm not a crazy big online marketer, but I know that my website that I have is helpful for sure. I
Mhm.
get some leads time to time, and I use it for credibility. So, Stephen, what have you been doing so far for your online marketing, and what are kind of some of your
So pretty much online marketing, what I've been doing is just blog posts and stuff like that. Carrot has a package where they have written content and stuff like that. And you
yeah
just post it like once a week, 2 times a week and stuff like that. I also do marketing in the real world and stuff like that. So I just know how strong it is to have an online, I guess, presence and stuff like that.
sure
Because everyone goes to the internet. First thing they hear about a company, they go to the internet. So, like you said, even if you don't get leads from it, just to have credibility overall is huge. But so what I've been doing is just, yeah, pretty much, just blog posts and stuff like that, posting on Craigslist and stuff like that, trying to get people to click to my link from there. Basically, what I want is just to get clicks and hopefully one of them turns into a lead and stuff like that. This one guy just, I don't know, he went through, it was like one of my blog articles. I guess he was like, sell your house, Tampa Bay, why you should sell your house or whatever. And he clicked on it and Carrot will break it down for you exactly how how it's broken out, like what page got the actual view, which page they submitted on, stuff like that. Carrot has an awesome dashboard for all that stuff. So that's pretty much what I do with it. Like I said, I definitely want to get bandit signs. I think bandit signs would be huge. I'm trying to move out of Hillsborough County because I just, like I said, it's so saturated. So I might move to a more inland county, like Lee County or something like that, just where the competition's not as stiff and I'm not playing with all these big dogs.
Big
Um,
dog.
just to get a couple deals, and then maybe once I have more money for marketing, come back in Hillsborough and try and attack it. But the carrot site is definitely helpful and stuff like that, and definitely it's good to have like accreditation overall. So I would definitely suggest carrot.
Totally. So let's get into that. So that's definitely good. I think that's certainly, I'm not an expert online marketer, so I can't give you like solid advice because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I would say just whatever you're doing that Carrot's telling you to do, it sounds like it's starting to work. So just keep doing it.
Definitely. And they break it down for you on Carrot pretty much. Like they'll tell you like, they have like almost like it's like a guide you follow week by week almost, stuff like that. And it depends on where you're at. Like organic SEO is not something that's, an overnight you flip the switch, there you go. It can take years. Like Google's always changing algorithms and stuff like that. It's nothing, simple. So I think if you can build a good site and you have the time to put in for online marketing, definitely, like you said, there's a guy in Dallas, that absolutely just kills it off his carrot site and just kills it. So it's definitely a good way, I would say, for people looking to get into it and stuff like that. I wouldn't steer you away from carrot, like using carrot.
For sure.
I mean, it could get pricey if you don't have the money like to spend and you don't have, because I think I think they raised it to $80 a month on the package I'm on, and that's 120 or something like that for the next package. Don't quote me on these numbers, but I think it's something around there. But it's definitely worth it. Definitely.
Absolutely. Let me actually check right now and see on carrot.com. See what their price. They're great. I mean, I'm good friends with the owners. So shameless plug. I'm very good friends with them. They're great guys. They know what they're doing. And the online marketing is just kind of the way of the future.
And another thing I've been starting to notice in this business is networking is everything. Like creating connections and stuff like that. It really is everything. You never know who can help you out and stuff like that. So
do you have an example of that? And then we'll get into some of your obstacles. Networking, just like I don't know. I guess just like creating good relationships with people, because they might not know someone that that might be like just a huge opportunity for you or something like that. Just it's everyone wants to win. I feel like in this type of business and stuff like that, and everyone's willing to help out everyone. Almost. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say everyone, but there's a lot of people that if everyone wants to win together, pretty much. That's what I'm saying. So like helping each other up the ladder together. There's enough deals around. Mm-hmm. There's enough kind of.
If you're providing, if you bring value to the table to someone that's doing something, you're golden.
Yeah. Right there, guys. That was a nugget and a half right there. What Stephen just said. If you bring value to people up front, people will help you. People will go out of their way to help you. You know what I'm saying? It's all about planning. Stephen, I mean, you haven't been in the business for too long, but with that type of mindset, you're going to be successful regardless because you're already thinking the right way. So let's get into some of your obstacles here. So basically just let's recap what he's doing for marketing and kind of where he's at. So he's been in the business for about 6 to 8 months now, or maybe 9 months at this point. So since the summer of 18, right? That's when you started?
Yeah, started in, I think, August.
Okay. So
August, last week of July, something like that.
Okay. So it's February 2019 as we're recording this. So he's been doing it for about a half a year, a little bit more than that. And he's been doing carrot site. That's obviously not going to happen overnight. That's going to take time and consistency. He's also going out and he's making prospecting calls to tax delinquent lists, and he's getting some mixed feedback. So Steve, or driving for dollars, either or. So Steve, what do you think the biggest issue with that is, and how can I help you? Maybe how can I help you with that? Because that's something that I'm very familiar with and I've had a lot of success with myself.
Yeah. So driving for dollars, I feel like is good, but a lot of these people don't want to sell. Like no one wants to sell. And I mean, I do the background check before I call them. I make sure I see I see this house and I see it looks like it's falling apart and stuff like that, or it has county like notices and stuff like that, and I'll check their taxes and all that. And then they're just they're just fine with not paying anything and stuff like that. So I mean, I guess the way it would be like, how do I pinpoint like who exactly is going to be a deal and stuff like that, and who the target really should be.
Yes.
Because I feel like I've been just treading water and I'm not getting out of the water.
Kind of like you're on a treadmill and you're not going forward.
Yeah, not going forward.
Well, I'll give you some good news and some bad news. The good news is I've been there and everyone's been there. So everything you're going through is completely normal. Hell, I'm in a little bit of a drought right now, man. I'm trying to – usually I generate a lot of leads. Like good for my size of my company. I don't have a huge company, so I like to get at least 2 good leads a day. And I haven't been generating a lot of leads this week, and I've been in a little bit of a jam, so I'm kind of back to the drawing board. So it happens to everyone, whether you're doing deals or not doing deals. Second thing is that here's the other news. Most people don't want to sell their property. So the majority of the times, the telemarketing calls are going to be unproductive. But the one that is productive is going to make up for the ones that aren't productive. So the key there is to try to put yourself in the best position possible to have the most likely prospect that would be interested in potentially selling their property. So let me tell you exactly what that means. So, obviously driving for dollars, the whole point is to try to find properties that are completely abandoned, or you think that are abandoned. They don't look good. They're got boarded up windows. Their grass is tall. They're got, like you said, Hillsborough County violation stickers on there. So the more points of data we can put on a specific property, the better chance we're going to have of that being a deal. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say that you drive past a property and you see that it is vacant, clearly, unless there's a squirrel living in there or something. Right? And then you check that property and you go in and you see that also the taxes are delinquent on that property. So now you have a vacant property with delinquent taxes. Oh, and when you saw the property as you drove by, you saw there was a city of, Hillsborough County violation notice. So now that property's on the third list. So the first list was vacant. Second list was tax delinquent. The third list was code violation list. And then let's say we go try to find the owner out. We find out the owner passed away, but they're still on record as the owner because they never had a estate or anything, or they never had a trust or a will or anything. So now that property that you found, and this is obviously an example, but those types of deals are out there all over the place. That property is on 4 lists, right? So the more, what I mean by this is the more data you can stack on one particular property, the more lists that they're on, the better the chance you're going to have of getting that deal. Because when you call the heirs of that person, assuming it was the 4-person, vacant, tax delinquent, code violations, deceased owner, when you call the heirs, that is what my good friend Larry Higgins, I'm actually going to have him on the show, he calls that an invisible estate. So on paper, it doesn't look like the owner is a probate deal, but when you skip trace the person and you see that they're deceased and the house is delinquent and there's all these distress points to it, that's a probate deal, but no one else knows it's a probate deal unless they would have skip traced it. So when you call the heirs to that property, there's not a guarantee that they're going to want to sell you the property, but there's a better chance of them being open to selling because clearly they don't give a crap about the house. Or in my situation, a lot of the times, I call people, I bought a house last month and the person didn't even know they owned it. They didn't know they owned it. And I bought it. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a tough sale because you have to convince them that, like, this is legit. And but yeah, I mean, we bought the house for $35 and it's on the market right now for $129. So it's a good deal.
Yeah, that's definitely a deal.
Yeah, good deal.
That's a whale.
You were there. You were at the house. It was the one in Highland Park.
Oh yeah.
For $35,000, dude.
Yeah. No, that's a solid deal.
That was a good deal. Anyway, that was a good deal. So back to my point. So the less distress you find, like if they're just vacant and their taxes are paid and the owner's, like the neighbor or something, can they be a motivated seller? Hypothetically, yes. But the more times you can do, like basically the more research you can do and the more types of identifiers you can stack on the leads, the better the chance you're going to have of them being quote unquote motivated because they're motivated based on 3 or 4 different data points. So probably getting as targeted as you can get. Without spending all of your time doing that because there's obviously opportunity costs. If you spend a day trying to find somebody and they don't want to sell to you, you could have just spent the rest of that day calling 5 or 6 other properties. So exactly. I think finding that balance between, having enough data to call to have a good chance to buy the property, but then not spending all your time on one property because then they could very well not want to sell you the house and then you could have called 5 or 6 others. So if you're going to do that, I would probably say go to a little bit more targeted. Because how targeted are you getting now? So what's your process look like for when you're doing this?
So like I'll look up. So obviously, if I'm driving for dollars and I find a house that's vacant, I'll check the taxes on it. Obviously, their back taxes. And then there you can tell if the owner's deceased or not, stuff like that. Also on the county records. And that's pretty much exactly where I'll go. I don't check violations. I mean, if there's stickers on the windows and stuff like that, I know it's in violation, but I don't go and check to see if it's in violation. And that's pretty much where I'll be like, all right, they're back on their taxes, and the person might be deceased, so I'll call them up and then see, where they're at, stuff like that.
Okay, so that's I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't know Tampa that well. I've done a little bit of lead gen down there. We had that one property under contract, but there were some title problems that sabotaged the deal, unfortunately. But I mean, that's a pretty decent criteria. I mean, if you're finding abandoned properties with back taxes, I mean, that, it's going to be a numbers game, but that's a pretty good, baseline to start from. Like driving for dollar leads that have back taxes. I mean, that's, most people aren't going to want to sell, but I think if you do that long enough and hard enough, you're going to get a deal. So I think it's just being more, just like I said, just keep doing it. And like I know we've had a conversation earlier. This was a couple months ago, where I told you just tracking your numbers like crazy. Like how many properties did you find? How many people did you get on the phone with? How many people out of those people? How many people did you? How many people were open to an offer? Whether they're motivated or not motivated. How many of those people were actually leads? And then out of those leads, how many offers got presented? And then, from the offers, it's just the numbers game until you get a contract. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And the tracking of the numbers definitely did help. I mean, it does help and stuff like that because I know where I'm at and stuff like that. What I need to be doing more, if I need to call more people and stuff like that. So I think the tracking definitely is huge. Like it really is. It's all, dude. It's all Excel based and it's all marketing.
It's all marketing, dude. It's a marketing business. So, let's get into the numbers, the tracking stuff, and then I can help you there. And then we'll talk about that one deal you're working on right now. Obviously, we won't disclose the address, but we'll unpack it for everybody, and we'll try to put you in the best position possible to get that deal. So, what do your numbers look like now in terms of your track? Let's put Carrot to the side and get on to more.
So I try to do about 100 calls a week or something, or so like that. I want to get about 5 leads a week.
Okay.
That where they're open to hear an offer, and then hopefully 1 to 2 deals a month. That's that's pretty much where you broke me out where I should be. Stuff like that, because you said eventually there will be a deal. So that's pretty much what I do. Sometimes I don't do it, obviously, hold me accountable, but that's pretty much where my numbers are at and stuff like that. And I track every day, obviously, and I have a whole Excel sheet broken down with all the numbers, names, and I mark it yellow if they picked up, yellow if it rang out, green if they picked up, red if they just told me to go F myself.
Okay. So that's pretty good. I'm going to give you some advice right now too on that'll help you better. It's going to probably take about 3 or 4 hours of your time, but it's worth the investment. It's not even a money investment. It's a time investment. There's a CRM called Podio, Podio, and it's free. And instead of using an Excel sheet, which is fine, that just gets that can start to get a little bit disorganized. So Podio is a CRM, which stands for, I think, contact relationship management software. You're familiar with what that is?
Yeah.
And what you're going to be able to do in Podio is basically go in and customize your own database. So you can basically, anytime you find a property, instead of putting it in Excel, you could have it on the Excel sheet to start, put it into Podio, and then Podio will have the Google map there. It's going to have the Zillow link. You can put the seller's name. You could put all the numbers associated with that person in this CRM. And then the most important thing is you can mark the stage of the lead and the date that you found the lead. So you can basically put new property, never called it. Open property, still haven't made touch with the owner. Spoke to this person, they're a lead. Spoke to this person, follow up. And then you can actually sort your database based on those criteria. So if you want to follow up with all your prospects, you can go in and you can funnel that to where it's only going to show you people you need to follow up with, or you can funnel it to people I haven't spoke to yet, or you can funnel it to new leads. And it's a very organized way for you to stay on top of all your leads. So you don't so you don't have to work too crazy. You can just be a little bit more targeted. So I'm going to recommend you going to podio.com and setting up a free account and creating a a Podio account, and yeah, that'll help you for sure, man. It's going to be worth the 3 or 4 hours you're going to have to invest to set it up, but trust me, that'll make your life a lot easier. And then also with the carrot leads you get, you can start to put those into the CRM, and you can tag the marketing channels. So that is going to, I think you're at the point now where it makes sense to do that because you're doing enough activity to justify having a CRM.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely look into it and stuff like that, and I'll go forward with it.
For sure. Okay, so we got that covered. So now let's pivot to the back half of the show. And guys, obviously, if you've been listening, this is a little bit of a special episode. It's not a traditional interview that I'm doing. I figured we'd hop on here and kind of mix it up a little bit and bring Stephen on and kind of unpack some of his goals and some of the stuff that that might be holding him back, so we can give him some advice, and then you guys can just be a fly on the wall here. So, Stephen, what is the I know we were speaking last night over text, and I gave you a little bit of help on a deal. What's the situation with this property, and then what are the numbers kind of looking like? And what do you need to do this deal?
Okay, so the comps are about 220 for the house.
I think they're there. Just letting you know, I ran it yesterday.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
240, I think.
Redfin is saying around 226, but if we can get more, obviously better. It's an all brick house,
yes.
Which is nice. So pretty much she is ready to move out. I guess she's got some family that she's doing a favor with, and she's tired of it. They're kind of thrashing the house up. And she said, if the right number sticks, she's good to go. She's ready to get out of there. She's back on her taxes. I found her as a tax lead. There's no other issues. The house isn't it's not in the greatest condition. Probably needs about $30K, probably like $30K in rehab. It needs a new roof, definitely. All new flooring. All the bedrooms need to be all new flooring. Bathrooms need to be redone. Kitchen needs to be redone. So it's gonna be a pretty pricey rehab. It might be more than $30K. And that's pretty much it. She wants to be in that like 170 range, I'm assuming, from what I was getting from her. But she's definitely open to listening and stuff like that. Because she's definitely interested in getting out of there. She wants to get a new house, and she just doesn't want her family to come over and, stay there longer than she expected. So that's pretty much where she's at. So we just talked to her yesterday. Hopefully going to give her an offer by the end of the day today.
Okay. Dude, I wish I could just get on a plane and fly to this lady's house.
Dude, I wish.
I would totally get this deal for you, bro. Anyway, or I'd put my best foot forward at least. So you're going to need to be in this deal at about 120 to make some real money on this thing. Because if you get it for 120, you could probably wholesale it for 145 and make 25 spankers, which would definitely help you out.
Yeah, definitely. That would be
what would you do? Tell the audience right now, if you got a check in your hand for $25,000, what would you initially be feeling like?
Dude, I would feel like Cloud9. I would feel good, obviously. That'd be pretty sweet.
Awesome.
But I wouldn't be stupid with the money, obviously reinvest and stuff like that, figure out how to make more money off of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's going to happen. It's just going to take some time potentially. So it will happen. You just got to stick with it long enough. So back to the deal. So she's at 170. You're probably going to need to buy it for 120. Let's just run this thing. So if you guys are new to investing in real estate, Stephen's in a competitive market. We believe that the value of the property fixed up, known as the ARV, is $240,000. So I would multiply that number times 75% because Stephen is in a little bit more of a competitive market. So buyers are going to pay a little bit more than 70% for properties. So you could probably mark that at 75%. In Dallas, where I buy a lot of properties, we actually do 80%. But let's be conservative here and just call it 75%. That's going to take us to $180,000 without accounting for two things, the repairs and then also Stephen's wholesaling fee. So if we think the repairs, Stephen, do you know how big the house is?
I do not. I don't remember off the top of my head. I would say it's about 1,200 square feet.
Okay. So let's call this a conservative $35,000 rehab, which is probably a pretty big rehab for your area based on labor costs in Florida. So let me just set a reminder here. So 35K. So now we're at 145 if you're going to buy and rehab this house. Okay. Let's say you're going to buy this.
Yeah.
Yes. 145. So if you want to make a wholesaling fee of 25 grand, obviously you just subtract 25 grand off that, which is going to take you to 120. However, maybe you can't make 25 grand, maybe you can make 10. So then I would add another $15,000. So I would say your maximum allowable offer on this property is going to be about 135 based on those numbers, 135. So that's the most you can pay. So your range on this deal is going to be anywhere from 120 to 135. That's what you need to pay out for this house based on all the information that I know. Obviously, I haven't seen it. So what do you think the biggest objection is going to be if you make her an offer at $120,000? What is she going to say?
She's obviously going to be like, that's not what I'm looking to get. I'm looking to get blah, 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 blah. So I got to obviously tell her, how much it's going to cost to rehab and stuff like that. We told her.
Don't do that. Do not do that. I'll give you some actionable sales advice right now on this show. Okay. So you have to do a few different, I don't want to give you everything because I'll overwhelm you, but I want to give you 2 or 3 things that you can actually say to this person. And if you want, you can listen to this recording when we're done. Obviously, the podcast won't launch for a few weeks, but if you want this recording, I'll just send it to you. 3 things you want to do on this thing. You want to say, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're going to get a yes or a no decision at the property. And you want to tell her that if it's a no, that's fine. There's no sweat. There's no big deal. I just need a yes or no decision because I can't keep files open. My partner gets mad at me. And you can tell her, hey, if you're not comfortable with the offer at the end of this meeting, you can give me a no. I promise I won't put any pressure on you. It's not going to be a big deal. But you never want to walk out of meetings with a maybe or a think it over because you have no data to go off of. Because a maybe or a think it over in sales is like the enemy. So you want to make sure you're getting a yes or a no. And if you're getting a maybe or a think it over, you're actually going to push for a no. You're going to go for the no and say, hey, listen, I totally get it. I know you got to think about it. It's a big decision. It makes complete sense. But I'll just be honest with you. My gut's telling me you're probably not comfortable with doing this. So would it be okay if I just called this thing a no? And when you do that, a lot of the times people don't want you to take things away from them. So they're going to push themselves towards the yes, or they're going to tell you what the true objection is. And then you can find out what that objection is and try to find a way to deal with it. So that's the first thing. Second thing is you want to ask her this question. If you don't sell the house to me, what are you going to do with it? Okay. And that question is going to do a few things. It's going to reveal if she's in serious pain.
Restate that because it just lagged. Internet connection just happened.
You're going to ask her this question. If you don't sell this property to me, what are you going to do with the house? Right? You ask it exactly like that. And the reason I'm telling you to ask that question is because that's going to do 2 things. It's going to tell you if she's in serious pain. Because if she's in serious pain, she's going to, and not literally, obviously, like her arm isn't bleeding.
But not physical, but almost emotional distress. Yeah. Still pain.
So she's faux pain. So she's going to, she's either going to say one of 2 things. She's going to say, I don't know, I was hoping you can buy it. And now you're in a really good position to buy that property because she's counting on you and it's going to be easier to overcome price objection. If she says, well, I'm going to sell it to a competitor, or I'm going to list it with a realtor, or I'm going to keep it. That is now the number one thing that you're competing with. It's either another investor, maybe she's going to list it, maybe she's going to keep it, but at least you know after asking that question what her other options are. Second thing you need to do. That's the second thing. And then the third thing is you need to get into stuff besides money that you can offer her of value to try to get her to accept your lower offer because you're offering her something else that's valuable to her. So literally you say this. Hey, listen, I totally get it. Money is, money's usually the easy part. I know obviously you want to get a fair price and I'm going to put my best foot forward to get you that price. But let me ask you a quick question, Mrs. Seller. Besides the price of the property, what else is going to be important when it comes to selling this thing? Besides the price of the house, what else is going to be important when it comes to selling this property? So what you're doing with that question is you're getting her mind off of and then on to other things that you could potentially add value to that could come up, that could basically justify you getting a lower offer. So let's say she says, well, I want to do this in a timely fashion. I want to do this within 30 days. Okay, so it sounds to me like one of your big concerns is making sure you can get this done quickly. And now what you're doing is you're starting to stack other things of value. I also want to make sure that you can buy the house as is. I don't want to make a single flip and repair on this thing. And now when you're making your presentation or your offer, you're framing it around, hey, I'm going to close in 30 days. You said that was important to you. I'm going to buy the house as is. You're not going to have to make a nickel of repairs. You told me that was important to you. And then you can get into other things to kind of justify your lower offer. So those are the 3 things I would do on that sales call. And I hope people got value from that if you're listening, because those are just 3 little nuggets. If you guys want to know more about sales and how I learned sales through one of my mentors, John Martinez, go to midwestrev.com and check them out. They're great people. John's one of the best sales trainers in the business. And if you want to get really good at sales, I learned it from John Martinez, Midwest Rev, MIDWESTREV.com. And check them out. They got some great stuff. And anyhow, so Stephen, what do you think about those 3 little tactics there?
I mean, I like it. I'm definitely going to use them and stuff like that. Probably go back, listen to this, and then do the phone call. You know, because I want her to feel not feel like she needs me, but, you know, that I'm going to give her the best option out there and stuff like that.
Here's another tip. This is pretty simple, though. Just be a really good listener. Just try to build rapport with her immediately and listen to her. And if you can get the rapport going, especially early on, like she's going to, like, if she really likes you and feels like you know her situation better than anyone else and you truly care, that seriously has a lot of value. And it's a lot easier to negotiate a good discounted house when they actually like you. Because they almost feel like if you're a good listener, it's the whole psychology thing, but basically make sure you could try to put your best foot forward to build rapport. And the best way to build rapport is not to tell her that you freaking play soccer or whatever, try to find commonality. It's to just listen to her. That's it. Listen. And then she'll be like, wow, this guy's really listening to me. And then that assigns value to you and it'll give you a better chance of getting the deal done. So
cool.
Steve, I hope we uncovered, and let's just get into one more thing here. If you could wave a magic wand, right, and a year from now, in February of 2020, what does your perfect day look like in terms of your business and where you're at in your life?
I mean,
if you could wave a magic wand, what's your business? Let's just make this business related. What does your wholesaling business look like a year from now? If you could wave a magic wand and have everything, you know, come into fruition within reality, obviously, you know, not like, you know,
hopefully doing about like, you know, 3 to 4 deals a month. Or 2 to 3 deals a month, something like that, where there's just steady cash flow. I mean, obviously, I want to get into buy and hold and get the real passive income and stuff like that. Wholesaling, I'm using it as almost a tactic into getting capital.
Cash generator. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. You know, I'm big on the work hard for about 5 hours, 6 hours, and then, you know, I'm a big believer in downtime and enjoying yourself and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I've worked a 9 to 5 and it's rough out there. It sucks.
It's rough out there.
It sucks. So I don't care how much money I make a year as long as I'm doing something that I enjoy and actually enjoying what I do and stuff like that. So, and making money doing it. So I'm not big on, you know, I need, like, obviously, I want to make X amount of dollars a year and stuff like that. But I have a goal, obviously. But, you know, if I'm making enough to have a substantial living and not going back to the 9 to 5 prison, I'm all for it. That's pretty much where I want to be in a year. Just working for myself, you know, doing my own thing, being able to enjoy life. Pretty much that's it.
That was pretty crystal clear. I love it, man. You got to have some goals or else you're going to have no direction. So that was very good. I hope this helped. I hope this helped the listeners. And Stephen, let's stay in touch, my friend. Let me know if you need help with anything.
Sounds good.
And to everyone, awesome. To everyone listening, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Hope you guys got some value from this. This was definitely geared towards the newer investors. So if you're new, you definitely got some nuggets from this thing. If you guys are more interested in the sales training, like I said, where I learned all my secrets, it's from Midwest Revenue Group. So you go to midwestrev.com, check them out. They got great stuff, a lot of free stuff. So if you like them, check them out. And you can go from there. So, Stephen, thanks for being a guest on my show. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, man. Take care, guys.